Hello, welcome back. Right, so we left off. We can pick up stacks, and they stack on top of each other. That all works, and now we need to drop them. But, I'm looking at this, and at some point, I'm going to want to use like a data asset or a data table. I'm not sure what the correct terminology is to set these structs for my weapons and my ammo and all that. Now, I don't think I should be saving data in the struct like I am here. If I'm going to be setting them with a data table, I think these structs should just be accessing data rather than storing data or saving data. So I'm thinking about changing these, like removing stack size altogether from the struct. Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's stop thinking about doing it. Let's actually do it. So, not quite sure how. There's going to be another variable that I'm going to put in stackable items that's separate to the struct, and that's just going to be the quantity. And instead of getting the struct out, we're just going to get that quantity number, I think. No. No, I'm going to go back on everything I just said. The problem with that is I'm not saving anything in the actors apart from the struct, am I? That's all I'm saving. It's an array of structs. So once they're in my inventory, all the data has to be in the struct. Otherwise, I lose it. So yeah, everything I just said, I think made sense, but I'm deciding to not go ahead with changing these structs after all. What I'll do is whatever data table does set these, I'll just have to make sure it doesn't set the stack size. And I think for weapons, there might be some sort of ammo counter in there, which would effectively be the same as stack size in a way. And we'll have to do the same for that. So, yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's do things in order, small steps. So, it's one thing I do want to do at some point. I might do it off camera. I just want to tidy this. This is upsetting my eyes compared to all this going on. So, but I'm not going to bore you with me moving nodes around. I'm boring you with everything else, so you don't want to see that too. So, right, the dropping we need to do. Looking forward to this. So, event drop item. I think I've got a couple more interface messages that were already set up from last time. So, there's drop full stack. That's not an event. Let's get an event. Event drop full stack and drop partial stack. The partial stack has a drop amount on, so great. That was already there from last time. We'll reuse that. That's just an integer that's going to pass through to the inventory components from the drop slider widget, which is over here. So I think the only thing I'd done between episodes was I just deleted a load of stuff. So this drop slider widget wasn't compiling because it had loads of references to the old setup and everything. So I just deleted a load of things. What I haven't deleted yet is this section, which drop full stand. You know what? Let's get rid of it. Let's start again there. And event constructor, we are going to have to set the maximum value of that slider. So we'll keep that. We'll just rework everything else. So that's unclicked on the drop button. Drop all button. Let's get an unclick for that. And cancel button. Get an unclicked for you as well. So the drop button, that's going to be dropping partial stacks. So drop partial stack. Drop all. It's going to be dropping a full stack. And cancel is just going to be remove from parent. That's just going to close this drop slider widget. So what I did have set up, I'll show you what's going to happen here without actually being able to show you anything. With these stackable items here, so you can see they're stacked on top of each other. When I click that and I press drop, instead of them dropping, there's going to be another widget that pops up here. It's got a little slider on, so it's going to look just like this. So that slider selects how much you want to drop. I don't know whether to add another editable text box in or something, so instead of using a slider you can type in the amount to make it a bit more accurate. But no, for now we'll get it set up the way it is. Alright, so I'm still doing that, aren't I? Let's stop that. So this drop slider currently has no information, so we're going to have to send some information to it, aren't we? So that'll come from when we press dropped in our inventory widget. So yeah, when we press that, on-clicked, which we already have somewhere, there it is. It's going to send a message to the inventory component, which is our old component, and it's going to be the drop. Oh no, sorry, that is our new component. This is our current dropping thing. Excuse me. Right, okay. In here we've got event drop. We're going to have to first check if the thing we have selected. This check can stay to see if we do have something selected. And then we're going to have to do this, break it, and check if it's stackable. So move this down a touch. Branch you, and if it is stackable, if it's not stackable, we'll do that. And if it is stackable, we'll do something else. If it is stackable, we're going to have to create that drop slider widget, aren't we? Create widget, drop slider. Do we want to save that in a variable? I suppose we do. Yeah, we will. So it means we can access it later easy enough. I'm not certain about saving it actually, because we'll be removing it from parent from within the drop slider widget itself. But if it's still saved in a variable, will it remove? I don't know. We'll leave it there for now. So create the widget, drop slider. Probably could do with setting a variable in here for a reference to the inventory component like we have done with everything else. And then it knows where to send messages back to. Let me have a look in the interface, see what we've got going on already set up there for us. So drop full stack, partial stack, drop selected item. I'm not sure I'm actually using drop selected item. This is all to do with storage. That's to do with controller. So Right, let's set that. Let's do that variable. So currently we've got our old inventory components here. So let's do the deprecate thing with that. No warning, so that's not actually being used anywhere. So let's just delete that now then, shall we? It's in use apparently. I'm thinking I probably set that in the original inventory component, so we'll leave that there for now. I don't want any more errors. So inventory. Right, so let's do the thing. And that's just self. There might be a better way to doing this. Rather than sending a reference to this to everything we create, there might be a better way, but it does work. I can't fault it in that sense, and I don't think this is too expensive, really. Like performance-wise, I can't imagine this is making a huge amount of difference, because we are only doing it when we actually press drop. So it's not like this is happening all the time, snapping on the tick. It's a one-time thing that happens very occasionally. All right, we need to plug that back in. So we're going to create it, and do we need to add it to viewport? I suppose we do, don't we? Add to viewport. I don't know where this is going to add. I'm not sure if last time I actually gave it a parent within the inventory widget. Like, did I? No, I couldn't have parented it to anything there. There's nothing there to parent it to. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's in the middle. Obviously, there's no functionality yet. Cancel should work. Yeah. Right, I'm happy with that placement. I don't know whether I'd want it there. I don't know. Another thing for the future, I'm going to have it so you can right click on these and a little drop down box will pop up with different options, whether it be equip or drop, inspect, and things like that. It's a bit unintuitive. Going up here, clicking on something, down here, then over here to mess. So we'll make it make sense at some point. So this works. I think that's all we need to do here. What we need to do now is in the drop slider widgets. So drop all is going to send that to you. And I think this is pretty easy to set up. It should work that if we drop full stack, we should be able to plug this straight in there. Should we plug it straight in there? I was going to say we can either plug it straight in there, or we can just copy all this. But what's the sense in having it done twice when we can just do that? So the drop all button should work now. It does, but we need to get rid of this widget as well, don't we, afterwards? So that's fine. That's easy to do because we've got a reference to it. We can just do a valid on the end of this, can't we? Because this is going to be called for dropping every item. We only want this to happen if this happens. Do we have to do it on the end? Can we do it on the beginning? So that is... We don't have to do anything valid then, do we? Because that will always be valid if this is being called. So we can just do a remove from parent and set in this as null. No, what am I doing? Yeah, it's that. Let's try that. Drop all. Yep, it drops it, and the slider disappears. Perfect. That's one down. Now the complicated one. Right. So first of all, I need to set the maximum value of the slider. We've got drop amount variable, but that's going out. That's what the slider's going to set. So we need to send some information to this widget, don't we? So what have we got that we can send in? Not the inventory widget, in the inventory components where all the goodness is happening. So when we click drop, if it's stackable, it goes over here and does its thing. I think what we need to do, yeah, we'll just send the stack size, can't we? Which is there. So we can send that as well, and then the drop slider knows what it's working with. Let's get into the variable in the drop slider and make this an integer, and we'll call it stack size. I don't know if there's going to be an issue with having multiple things in multiple places called stack size, but it's the only terminology that I think makes sense for this. So that stack size, going to get it, plug it in there. That's going to be the maximum value for this slider. A couple of things about the sliders. It's really set up from last time because I haven't changed much. Well, I haven't changed anything in here. It's just all in the graph that it's changed. If you're going to be using a slider, especially for purposes like this, a couple of settings you might want to look at. Mouse uses steps and step size. So I've put step size to 1, so it's not taking into account that decimal point at all. And mouse uses steps because the mouse will. I think if that's not set to step size 1, and sorry, I think if that is set to step size 1 and this mouse steps isn't ticked, then you can select floats. So it's, yeah, those two settings to get the way I'm doing it anyway. So yeah, where was I? We've got that set up. What we haven't got is this isn't populating. This isn't set in, so we'll expose this on spawn again. And what was it called? Drop slider. Stack size in there. So, well, we can test that out. So 20 in there. If I drop, I presume that goes up to 20, but I haven't bound these numbers yet. So that's one thing we can bind now, is get that number bound so we know it's working properly. So this is not going to be as simple as just binding to that variable, because this is going to change and that stack size isn't going to change. So instead of just clicking on that and that's the binding, we are going to create one. So how are we going to do this? It's going to be the stack size slider, and is it value? Get value. Right, so this is going to be the value that the slider is set at that moment. So if we get the stack size and minus, which one do we want to minus off what? I think we want to the stack size minus the value. And let's plug that in. I might have got this backwards. we'll soon see. I've got my maths head on. So 20 in there. Where's 20 going to appear on this, or is it going to appear? 20. Right, yeah. I think that's not the way we want to do it, is it? We want to do it the other way. So this binding would work perfect over here, I think, wouldn't it? If you want this to be the drop amount and you want it to go up as you pull that up. So I'm just going to copy and paste all that bind into that other number. So where is that other number? There you are. So that's that one dealt with. So yeah, that reduces that number on that side. Sorry. On the other side, we want to. I suppose we want to start off at 0, don't we? So or do we want it just to be the value? I think we want it just to be the value, don't we? So if we set drop amount, plug that drop amount in there. I think that's it, because we've already set the max value. This can't go above that max value. So as you drag it all the way to the right, it should hit 20, and that should be it, I think. So that. Yeah. Perfect. But now if I click drop, it's still not doing anything because we haven't done anything with that button. So back into drop slider widgets. So now we're setting our drop amount. So we know how much we want to drop. We just have to send this message with this drop amount to this reference. So yeah, that's nice and simple. I'm not sure how I've done it last time, but I swear it didn't look this simple. Okay. So we compile that, and here we've got some work to do in our components, haven't we? So drop partial stacks. So it's going to be starting off with this again. Definitely going to turn this into a macro. It's going to be all over the place. So break that struct. So this is me going to be manipulating the data in a struct again. But like I say, because it's the only data I hold of this object, I can't have this stack size exist anywhere else. There is nowhere else for it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I would like to have done it different. And I hope this isn't going to be one of those moments where I look back and think, right, I needed to do that different. Let's refresh the inventory. Let's rework it. But I've done it this way quite a few times now, and it's never failed. It's never failed me. It's always worked. So it's been tried and tested on a fair few projects that I've done now. So yeah, I'll stick with it. I'm going to try and think more confidently about this. I've seen some people in the Discord that I'm on, and they're not overly keen on doing it this way, changing data within a struct and saving data within a struct. One, because it's messy. It doesn't look great when you're doing it. You've got all this mess coming out. But two, because they have warned about the problems when you start using data assets and things. So that's a problem I'm going to have to look at when I get to it. And hopefully it's not an unworkable problem. So we don't want to break that to start with, do we? Let's do what we did. Where did we do it? Was it in drop-in items? No, it's up here, wasn't it? So yeah, set members and pickup struct. So that's when we're adding. At least we don't have to do a for loop on this one because we're only dropping. So we're going to set the items in, in there. So we're getting drop amount. We'll still need to break that damn thing, don't we? There we go. Because now we need the stack size minus the drop amount. And what this is, it's setting the thing in our inventory to have this amount removed from it. Then after that, we're going to have to create spawn another actor. With that drop amount saved inside it. So what did I do up here again? And then we set the array elements. That index. Something I'm not sure we do. No, we don't, do we? We're not giving that inventory index selected a -1. So let's do that there. And I'll also have to remember to do it after I've done all this as well. So we're going to set that array element to that. Size to fit, I don't think is necessary. No, that's fine. So that is changing what's in our inventory to the new amount. I'm not sure that's going to do anything yet when it comes to the numbers, the quantity numbers in our inventory items. Let's have a look, see if it does. No. In fact, it's not dropping. Oh no, of course it's not dropping anything. We need to spawn an actor for it to drop. I'm going to ignore you, and hopefully by the time I finish it would have fixed all those anyway. We'll see what happens. Some of it was that I'm not setting the index to a -1 at the end. I hope. So yeah, it's not changing the quantity numbers in the inventory, but I didn't think that was going to happen anyway. We might have to do what we do up here. There. Do a close and open on the inventory for that to refresh. Should we test that out? It'd be nice to know now before I start adding to this one. Right, this number should change. Oh, hey, why didn't you change? So we set the array element. That all works. And we know it works up here because it does stack. It's not working down here though, is it? Stack size minus drop amount, set members in the pickup struct. That's the struct that we want. Then we set the array element, that index, that array, this struct. Do a close and open, that should refresh. What I might do is get them dropping on the floor and then have a look if by the end of all that, hopefully it works. Right, let's do it then. So, dropping items, can we just reuse this in it anyway? I think maybe we can. So yeah, that pickup strut goes straight in there. I think that's all set up for us to just use in this situation. So we'll drop the items. And the pickup strut is... Let's not add it here. This is completely the wrong place. It's supposed to be here. Oops. Yeah. Dropping item. There. And the pickup strut is this one. Is it? No, it's not this one, is it? No, we've got some more calculations to do. Is this gonna work? I'm gonna try something a bit odd here. So if I was to do that, not convinced this is going to work, but the new stack size for the item that we're dropping, it's just going to be this drop amount, isn't it? So whatever we drop on the floor is this drop amount. We set members in a pickup struct. We send it to this drop. I'm not convinced any of this is going to work. We send it to this place, spawns the actor, does all its goodness when we drop it on the floor. It's not a chance this can work. I've just got so many doubts about lots of little parts of it. And I don't feel like I've thought it through very well. What do we do at the end? We do that. We do all that. Okay. Let's see how bad this goes. 40 ammo. We're going to drop some. Let's drop 20. This slide is horrible. That took far too long to get to 20. Drop. It didn't drop any. Didn't remove the widget. And it spewed out a bunch of errors at me. Yeah, that's probably about right. So first of all, let's make sure this widget disappears. Remove from parents and null it as well. Nope, that's the wrong one. So why isn't dropping item working? I'm guessing because that pickup struct that we feed into this just isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, which I did have a feeling it wasn't going to. I've never tried to do it this way. So what other way are we going to do it? Get a copy. Is that going to be a thing we should be doing? So forget that. Get a copy. Get rid of you. So this isn't going to be the right quantity, but I just want to plug this in just to see if it drops anything there. Is that a copy? This is the same, it's just the same get, isn't it? Shouldn't be an issue because we can change the quantity, the stack size again in this one. But let's just work on getting the thing to spawn first, shall we? It's just not dropping, is it? Do these drop? Yeah, they do. These don't want to know. Should we have a look at these errors? So it doesn't like the -1, okay. Do you think we're doing a -1 somewhere before it gets to this? So then this is set wrong. Event drop. If that's -1, we do nothing. If it's stackable, we'll come up here. There we go. Yeah, that's it. We create the drop slider widget. We'll save it, add it to viewport, and then for some strange reason we set this to -1. That's been screwing all this up because this has been doing nothing. So yeah, that was a silly place to put that. See what happens without that there. Set it to whatever we set it to. 11 and 9. Brilliant. Got 11 in our inventory there. And presumably 9 on the floor. Let's pick it up. 22. my inventory doesn't know math. I have no idea how that happened. I would do. I know how this happened. That's fine. 24. That's perfect. Just works. Yeah, we're not setting this one. I just threw that in there for a test, didn't I? So that's not actually changing any quantities within that. So if we try this method again, because it wasn't working last time because of that -1 in our inventory index. So yeah, we'll set that, plug you in there, and that's what this wants. Right, 10 and 10 changes there. Let's pick it up. 20. Let's do a different number. I don't trust that. No, it's working. Okay, that's stackable thing's almost done. Just want to make doubly sure. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. That worked really well. A couple of things we need to do though. What happens if I do this and then this slide is really strange. If you do it slow, it will follow the mouse. So if I drop a full 60 now, right, there's the problem. So how much can I? Yeah, I can drop any amount of zeros as I want. So in theory, all these should be completely empty. It should be a stack size of 0. Let's pick them all up, and I still should have 60 at the end of this. Although I feel like one did disappear somewhere. Yeah, it's not enjoying life right now. So what we need to do in the, just do it in the drop slider. If drop partial stack, here we are. Let's make some room. If this drop amount is equal to the stack size, Oh, I just duplicated that, but what am I doing? Let's get rid of you. If these two are equal, so you've dragged that slider all the way to the right. That means it'll be equal to the stack size. That means you're dropping a full stack. So we'll put a branch on you. If it's false, we'll drop a partial stack. And if it's true, we can drop a full stack. Just try that. Oops. I forget that they don't have collision until they're fully spawned. Those little panels that I'm using here. Right, so let's try that out. So there was 40 I dropped. Yep. Alright, we're there. I think we're done. Let's have a quick run through it all to make sure it all makes sense. So, right, we start off here. We press drop, we'll find out that it's a stackable. It's going to create the drop slider widget, save it into a variable, add it to the viewport. Then we move over to the drop slider, and on construct, we set the maximum size of this slider, which is the stack size of the thing that we have selected in our inventory. If we click the drop button, it's going to see if we've slid that slider all the way across to drop a full stack. If not, then it'll drop a certain amount, which is determined by that drop amount. And drop all, that is just the same code for dropping anything else. And cancel just gets rid of this widget. Over back in the components. Dropping partial stacks, yeah, it's messy, but it works. Yeah, I can live with this. I might actually make a sequence though, to make it a bit tidier. But like I say, when it comes to tidying things up, I won't record that. No one wants to see that. If you do want to see that, leave a comment. But you're a weirdo if you do. So what time? We're at 43 minutes. I think that's probably long enough for this video. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cough. So yeah, that's long enough for this video. We'll leave it there. It's working. Made a lot of progress in those 43 minutes, I think. And next video, we can start trying to figure out how we're going to equip something. Right now, the old method that I had will not work in the slightest because we've done this in such a different way. That's so messy. I hate you. Yeah, done this in such a different way that the old equip system is going to have to be completely reworked. There's nothing that's going to work. So I'll have a think about that in between recordings. And yeah, I'll see you next time for that one.